Looking for the next big thing in gaming? Well, it's only a few clicks away at GoldenNuggetCasino.com. GoldenNuggetCasino.com already has the largest selection of online slots in the Garden State, and now you can play your favorite table games with the very first statewide online live dealers in the U.S. It's called Golden Nugget Online Live Dealer. All of the dealers have their own unique personalities talking to you as they deal the cards. Live Dealer is broadcast live from an exclusive studio at the Golden Nugget Atlantic City and streaming directly to you, the player, on your smartphone or your laptop. And as long as you're within New Jersey limits, you can play from wherever you happen to be or on the go. Tablet, phone, or desktop, wherever you are, you can enjoy the live dealer experience. Play Golden Nuggets Online Live Dealer today in real time, 7 days a week, now from noon to 3 a.m. Blackjack, roulette, baccarat, all live in real time on GoldenNuggetCasino.com. Get started today at GoldenNuggetCasino.com and take part in the newest and most unique online gaming experience a casino can offer. Golden Nuggets Online Live Dealer. Truly the next evolution of online gaming. Must be 21 years or older. New Jersey only. Problem gambler. Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Welcome to another week on Turnpike Sports. I'm Dave Weishuttle, as always, joined by my co-host and producer, Doug Weishuttle. Doug, how you doing?
Doing good as always. Coming to you from a nice wintry blast of weather happening outside. So, welcome winter, finally. A real good one, too. Jumping right into the show, we've got our Turnpike Sports Police Blotter. We've got the injury report. You've got a really good interview coming up in the third part of the show.
Absolutely. Look, you've seen this guy on Good Morning America, Discovery Channel, Destination America, National Geographic Channel, The Learning Channel, and he also had his own show on the Travel Channel called Game on America. And Sal Piacente is an amazing guest who also has, I want to get this name right because I have to pronounce it right, Universal Game Protection Development. He is hired by casinos and law enforcement agencies to help detect cheaters on the gaming floor. Interesting.
Well, you see a cheater, better call Sal.
Better call Sal, yeah.
Check out the TurnpikeSportsRadio.com website to see the International Bikini Team Member of the Week. And you can also now order their calendar. It's $10. Ordering information, just email them at info@internationalbikiniteam.org.
Well, it's been a busy sports week, so let's jump onto the Turnpike.
Exit 1.
The NFL playoffs get underway this weekend, and the Westgate Superbook in Vegas has the New England Patriots as a 2-1 favorite to win Super Bowl 52.
Wow, I don't think that was a surprise, huh?
No, that's pretty much a given almost every year. I think the odds change from 2-1 to 3-1, but most of the time they're usually either the first or second team people want to put money on for the Super Bowl. You have Vikings next up with 4-1 odds to win, and they could be the first team to win a Super Bowl in their own building.
Yeah, they have a home field advantage if they make it to the Super Bowl. It should be interesting, very interesting.
Now let's go through some of the other odds here. We got Steelers 9-2,
which is I think is surprising because I think, for me, I think they're the team to beat. Keep an eye on the Steelers.
I don't know. I as much as I like the Vikings, the Steelers are good. And you always got these guys.
Well, I think it's the Vikings and the Steelers.
Well, right now this is an interesting one. Last year's Super Bowl loser, the Atlanta Falcons. They finally got it together towards the end of the season, made it in. They're a 20-1 shot.
Yeah, but they're playing bad football.
Well, they seem to be coming together at the right time. And then you have the Eagles with Nick Foles at 15-1 odds.
Will not make the Super Bowl. That's my prediction. Will
really?
Not make the. Yeah, I'm an Eagles fan too, and I still say they don't make the Super Bowl. It's just the loss of Carson Wentz was just way too much, and the way Nick Foles has been playing, it's not good. Not good.
And lastly, rounding out the playoff teams, Bills and Titans both 100-1 shots. Disagree with any of the odds out there?
No. I didn't see New Orleans.
They're also 20-1.
Also 20. Okay. Oh, okay.
Yeah,
they're a good team in the playoffs.
This is also one of the few times you're going to have two AFC South teams in the playoffs.
Exit 2.
The NHL's annual Winter Classic was held this past New Year's Day between the New York Rangers and the Buffalo Sabres.
I honestly forgot it was on. I didn't even think of it.
Well, I think a lot of America forgot about it because it was the lowest rated Winter Classic ever.
Oh, it's one of those things where New Year's Day for me is college football, and I just wasn't even thinking hockey.
Well, this is the fourth straight year of declining viewership for it. They had a 1.42 rating with 2.48 million viewers. Time to cancel it?
No. Yeah, look, they're making money off it. I mean, they're merchandising, and I think they have a show or something like that leading up to the Winter Classics.
Well, they used to have on one of the cable channels, like HBO or something, they used to have a 24/7 leading up to it. Now they just have like a 2-hour program, The Road to the Winter Classic.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And, merchandising is always a big thing for them.
Yeah, I actually have I think from a couple of years ago, one of their hats. With that's all I have, the Winter Classic hat. That's basically it.
Well, I don't know. It seems to be going lackluster even more so every year. This was the 10th one. They didn't do anything special for it. They got rid of the All-Star,
well, you know what?
the old-timers game, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, well, you know what? I think it's some of the teams that they choose. I mean, it was the Rangers and the Buffalo Sabres, and that's all New York. I mean, if you're not in New York, maybe you're not caring about it. Next year's might be pretty good. It's in Chicago at Notre Dame Stadium against the Blackhawks and the Boston Bruins. So that might... two big market teams, so that might get advertising.
And they're also are they also Original Six?
Yeah.
So that might be that's a whole new marketing thing for the Winter Classic too.
Exit 3.
The 2018 Rose Bowl delivered the 5th best cable audience ever.
It's double overtime. Yeah, it's going to get a lot of attention.
26.8 million viewers. That's an increase of only 3.9% from last year. It was also the first overtime game in the game's 104-year history.
Yeah, and it had a double overtime.
Yep.
And plus, you had the Heisman Trophy winner playing in it, so that kind of gave it some oomph too. So, like the Rose Bowl needs more oomph. I mean, it's the one. I think it's the best bowl of all the bowls. And
it also had a great comeback too, didn't it?
Yeah.
And you look at the Sugar Bowl as well. Viewership there was up 10%. So the two big bowls, Sugar and Rose.
Well, that was
day,
Alabama Clemson. That
right.
was the rematch of last year's championship game. So
they combined to have an average viewership for the two games at 24.6 million viewers.
I think the national championship is going to do blockbusters.
Well, let me ask you this: with the NFL complaining about ratings going down, does this have any indication that college football viewing is on the rise, or is this just the New Year's Day bowl games?
It's New Year's Day, and look. The ratings went down is because they're playing on Thursday, they're playing on Sunday, they're playing on Monday.
And Saturday now, too.
Now Saturday. I mean, if they were all on one day, the ratings would be up. But, they don't want to have that.
Yeah, you have to take a look at this last week of the regular season for the NFL. All the games are on Sunday, and no night games. I wonder exactly how the ratings differ.
It'd be interesting to see how they... Well, first off, those early games in the NFL were horrible. I mean, they meant nothing whatsoever. The teams that made it to the playoffs, their starters weren't playing the entire game. So the early games last week were terrible.
The league made sure to flex all the important games of that weekend to the 4:30 slots, and a lot of the teams didn't like that. So we'll see what happens.
Exit 4.
The NHL's Las Vegas Golden Knights are doing it again.
Wow. But what a story the Golden Knights are. Good for them. Good for Las Vegas.
It's great for Las Vegas.
Oh, my God. They're making them a legitimate sports town.
Well, they technically are anyway with four teams there.
Well,
so.
they're kind of a joke.
But here,
last year was kind of a joke when, you're going to Vegas to play sports? I don't think so.
Well, again, look at what the Knights are doing. They've had one of the longest winning streaks in the league, and it's the longest for an expansion team in league history. This is their third streak of 5 or more wins this season. It's most by any team in the league. During this big streak they're having now, they've scored more points in terms of standings, points during this last streak than the Arizona Coyotes have for the entire season.
I think it's great. I think we talked about this last week or the week before. Boy, if they win it all, the Stanley Cup, the sports books are going to take a bath because what were they, 100-1 to even make it to the Stanley Cup Finals?
100-1 to
wow.
Before anyone even hit the ice.
I gave them no shot. Absolutely, I gave them no shot.
Well, here's one actual little fact about the Knights with this win streak. I was surprised to hear this one. This win streak is in their first 38 games is more than the Dallas Stars have had in their 50 years of existence.
Wow.
Yeah, so. Dallas has never had a win streak that long.
Hey, you know what? The NHL did a really good expansion draft. They took the right players from the different teams, and, it kind of meshed. And, hey, good for the Golden Knights.
Well, let's see if they continue this throughout the rest of the season or they come back down to earth. So we'll just have to wait and see.
All right, before we take a break, Doug, why don't you tell everyone how to reach the show?
As always, you can contact Turnpike Sports by calling or texting us at 609-512-6510. That's 609-512-6510. That's the call or text line. Hit us up on Facebook or Twitter. Both of those are at Turnpike Sports. Or you can email the show at info@turnpikesportsradio.com.
All right, stick around. We'll be right back with more Turnpike Sports. Now, I'm sure everyone has made some sort of New Year's resolution, whether it's to lose weight, work harder at the office, whatever. And we always seem to break them a few weeks into the year. Well, here's one resolution you need to make and keep. Getting a good night's sleep with MyPillow. They're the most comfortable pillows on the market. Its patented interlocking fill adjusts to everyone and their sleeping habits. I use MyPillow all the time. I sleep great at night and wake up pain-free. I even travel with MyPillow. And now there's a great new deal being offered by the folks at MyPillow. For a limited time, House of Cards listeners can receive a very special offer. Go to MyPillow.com, click on the 4-pack special tab, and use promo code CARDS or call 1-800-319-7913 to take advantage of this 4-pack special. You'll get 50% off 2 MyPillow premium pillows and 2 Go Anywhere pillows. MyPillow.com with promo code CARDS. That's promo code CARDS to take advantage of this 4-pack special. Better sleep starts with MyPillow.
Hey, this is Doug Weishuttle of Turnpike Sports with your Turnpike Sports Weekly Injury Report. San Francisco 49ers wide receiver Marquise Goodwin left Sunday's game against the Los Angeles Rams in the second quarter with a concussion. Goodwin was carted off the field after a hard hit from Rams safety Blake Countess. Goodwin was taken to an area hospital for evaluation and then later released. The Kansas City Chiefs are expected to be without wide receiver DeAnthony Thomas for the remainder of the season after Thomas suffered what is believed to be a broken tibia during the Chiefs game versus the Denver Broncos. Thomas remained on the field for several minutes after being hit trying to field a punt before being carried off the field. Over in the NBA, Houston Rockets guard James Harden will miss 2 weeks with a strained hamstring. Harden had been putting together an MVP-caliber season prior to suffering the injury in the Rockets game versus the Los Angeles Lakers. Utah Jazz center Rudy Gobert is expected to miss at least 2 more weeks. Gobert was reevaluated this past Saturday for a left PCL strain and a bone bruise, which he suffered back on December 15th. Gobert is currently participating in light workouts and individual drills in practice. Orlando Magic forward Jonathan Isaac is out indefinitely with an ankle injury. He originally suffered the injury back on November 11th. Isaac has been placed in the Magic's injury rehabilitation and conditioning program. And finally, Minnesota Timberwolves guard Jeff Teague is out indefinitely after an MRI revealed a grade 1 MCL sprain in his left knee. Teague suffered the injury during the fourth quarter of the Wolves' overtime win over the Denver Nuggets. This is Doug Weishall for Turnpike Sports. Come back next week, and in the meantime, let's be careful out there.
Welcome back, Turnpike Sports. You know, I was hearing the injury report, and one thing I'm surprised I didn't hear about was I saw the hockey game between the Pittsburgh Penguins and the Philadelphia Flyers, and as always, it was a street fight, and lots and lots of people got hurt at that game, as usual.
They actually had, at one point in the broadcast, you can actually see the benches, and there were empty spots on the benches because a lot of people were taken into the back and to be looked at. So, like you said, it's always a brawl between those two teams.
Boy, it's always a brawl.
And I wish I could have included a lot of this stuff into the injury report this week, but it was one of those things where a lot of these guys are still being checked out because of what happened in that game.
Absolutely. Yeah, boy. Like always, it's a typical Pittsburgh-Philadelphia hockey game.
But, boy, does that make for good hockey.
Oh, boy, it's good. It's great. It's great to watch. But, someone's going to get really hurt one of these days. You know what? Now it's time for my favorite portion of the show. Yes, that's right. The Turnpike Sports Police Blotter. And as always, the Turnpike Sports Police Blotter is brought to you by Bean Genius. Have some of the best coffee in the country delivered right to your door each month when you subscribe to Bean Genius. And now get 10% off your subscription when you sign up at beangenius.com using our promo code PIKE, P-I-K-E, at checkout. Bean Genius, the smart specialty coffee subscription service.
Very good, very good. And remember, it's beangenius.com. Over 2,000 specialty blends of coffee available at your fingertips when you go to their website, beangenius.com.
Love Bean Genius.
Alrighty, let's get right to the blotter. We've got a couple entries this week. Current NFL player and Tampa Bay Buccaneer T.J. Ward was arrested. He was arrested on an outstanding warrant in connection to an incident that happened back in October.
Wow, okay. Oh, what, he didn't appear in court? Is that what they're saying?
He didn't show up in court.
Didn't show up in court. Wow.
And what happened was, back in October, this was his very first game leading up to for the Buccaneers. He just came over from Denver.
Okay.
The police responded to an intrusion alarm at Ward's apartment. They were let in by a 38-year-old woman, and in plain view, they found 99.9 grams of marijuana.
Wow. And
some paraphernalia. So he was arrested.
In his defense, he was coming from Denver, which is legal in Colorado. So maybe he just didn't know.
Well, this is the funny part. The woman that answered the door, when the cops saw the stuff in plain view, she claimed it wasn't hers. It was Ward's. So she put the blame right on him.
Wow.
Then she later changed her story and said, "Oh no, it's mine, but it's medicinal."
Okay.
And then that's when they were both arrested. And they were arrested on charges of one felony count of possession of marijuana, one misdemeanor count of possession of drug paraphernalia.
Wow.
Then he missed his court date.
Crazy.
There was a warrant. They just arrested him now. This was 2 months before he became an unrestricted free agent.
Wow.
So his offseason is not off to a good start here.
Nope.
All righty, here's another guy, another NFL player. Free agent, by the way. He's not on any team right now. And you may be very familiar with this guy. Dorial Green Beckham.
Oh, boy. What a waste of height and talent. Boy, he just does nothing.
Well, he's had a long history of run-ins with the law.
Really?
But this new one was he got charged with driving while intoxicated and allegedly failure to display valid plates on his car, and also another alleged window tint violation.
We had that last week. There was a window tint violation. I wonder if these guys are bringing their cars in from out of state where they're legal and driving it through a state where they're not legal. But I don't even know what the tint requirement is anymore. Not
much has come out in terms of what the actual incident was all about. Why he got pulled over, all that stuff. But I looked into his little history here, and this is interesting. Dorial Green Beckham, arrested twice for marijuana offenses during his 2 years at the University of Missouri. Also was arrested for alleged violence against a woman. Charges were dropped, but he was kicked off the football team. And then during his time with the Eagles in 2016. Remember the NFL was doing this My Cleats, My Cause thing?
Yeah.
Where the players put their foundations or the charities they wanted to support on their cleats?
Yeah.
He walked around with Yeezy Foundation. Y-E-E-Z-Y Foundation written all over his cleats. There was no foundation.
Okay.
He made it up.
Okay.
But he put it on his cleats anyway, and he was on TV with it.
He's a strange guy.
Well,
strange guy. And remember, watch those tinted windows, people. Boy.
Obviously, that's a big thing now.
Obviously, the cops are pulling everyone over for tinted window violations.
It must be a Midwest thing because
I don't know.
It's one of those things. But two other ones real quick. Sophomore guard at the North Carolina State University basketball team, Markel Johnson, was arrested with 3 others and ordered to supply DNA samples. And he was indicted on felonious assault charges. That's all they have released. But he was already suspended from the team for something else. So, and last but not least, this week, we have former college football player Brad Lester, and he's got a whole laundry list of charges here. Unlawful eavesdropping or surveillance.
Wow, okay.
Creating or possessing child porn
okay.
with the intent to distribute.
Ooh.
Now, he filmed a kid in the bathroom of a restaurant with his cell phone.
Well, that's creepy.
And he's working with kids. He's a youth coach, and he's got foundations for young athletes all over the place.
Oh, that's weird.
So
that's creepy.
Now, before we go, last but not least, this is a look back on 2017.
We should have the Turnpike Sports Police Blotter Awards.
Well, here we go. Busiest month was April.
Okay.
65 arrests, citations, and charges. Second place was June with 47 and October with 44. So there's really no rhyme or reason as to when these are happening. They're just, these were the three biggest months. And leading the league in arrests was Alcorn State with 19 people.
Wow, really? Alcorn State.
Followed by the University of Louisiana at Lafayette with 14.
Huh. Wow.
And here was the most interesting one. We had a mascot arrested in 2017.
Really? Well, okay. In costume at the stadium?
No, this was after a game.
Okay.
West Virginia University mascot Troy Clemens pulled over for speeding. They found the bleary-eyed guy, so they did a sobriety test. He failed 3 of them.
Wow. Okay.
And he was arrested under the charge of DUI.
The mascot, huh? Wow.
Well, even mascots get into the act, I guess. So that's the police blotter for this week, and also that was the wrap-up for this year.
Stick around. When we come back, I'm going to talk to Sal Piacente from Universal Game Protection Development, and also he was on the Travel Channel with his show Game on America. Really nice guy, really great interview.
Really fun to listen to, as a matter of fact.
He's a really nice guy.
Come back, we'll have more Turnpike Sports after this.
We'll get back to the show in a few moments, but I just wanted to take some time and tell everyone about Bean Genius, the smart specialty coffee subscription service. Bean Genius sells freshly roasted coffee from some of the best independent coffee roasters in the country. They feature over 2,000 specialty coffee blends, all at your fingertips at beangenius.com. Here's how it works. Head on over to beangenius.com and take their palate profiler test to find out what coffee best fits your taste. Then select from a variety of subscription plans. Every subscription comes with free shipping, and delivery can even be scheduled for once or twice each month. And based upon your review of each coffee blend you try, Bean Genius actually learns your individual taste preferences and then suggests future coffee blends for you. And now you can get 10% off your Bean Genius subscription when you use our promo code PIKE at checkout. Bean Genius offers a variety of subscription plans to suit any coffee lover's needs. Subscribe with Bean Genius today and start enjoying some of the best tasting coffee around. And save 10% off your coffee plan with promo code PIKE.
Have you ever wanted something so bad that you do just about anything for it? Well, that's exactly how we feel about you. That's right. AdamandEve.com wants you so bad. We're giving you 10 free gifts with your first order. You heard me right. That's 10 free gifts to spice up your love life. First, you'll get a sexy surprise for her. Second, an adventurous toy for him. And third, a little something we know you'll both enjoy. Plus, you'll get 6 full-length adult movies on DVD. And number 10, free shipping on your entire order. That's 10 free gifts for you shy types who've never tried Adam and Eve before. Just go to adamandeve.com and select any one item. It could be an adventurous new toy, a sexy piece of lingerie, or anything you desire. Just enter offer code BABE16 at checkout, and you'll get all 10 free gifts, including free shipping. That's offer code BABE16. That's BABE 16 at adamandeve.com.
Welcome back, Turnpike Sports. Let me tell you something, we're in for a treat when it comes to our next guest. You've seen him on Good Morning America, Discovery Channel, Destination America, the National Geographic Channel, the Learning Channel, and he's even had his own show on the Travel Channel called Game on America. And since 2006, Sal Piacente has been president of his own company, Universal Game Protection Development, specializing in game protection and helping casinos and law enforcement agencies catch cheaters. And we are lucky enough to have Sal Piacente with us. Sal, thanks for joining us.
Oh, thank you for having me.
I got to tell you, I got a whole packet of your information, and I was so interested to read that your amazing career started with a 3-card Monte game in New York. Tell us how you first got started in the game protection business.
Well, I was 12 years old. My father decided that he didn't want to see any of his children get scammed. My father was a blue-collar worker and didn't know nothing about sleight of hand, but he did know about the three-card Monte, and that was pretty big back in the 70s. So he didn't want to see any of his children get robbed, so he showed me the game. And he showed me how it works, and then that was it. I was hooked. The next day I'm in the schoolyard taking lunch money.
Well, it's good that you learn a
and
trade.
it turned into a whole...
Yeah.
Oh, that's so true.
Yeah.
So true. And I turned that passion into a profession.
Now, you've been in the casino business for like over 30 years. Now, how did you get started in the business? You said you were from New York. Did it all start in Atlantic City and you work your way west? Where did it all begin?
Well, I was born in Brooklyn. Like I said, my father showed me the three-card Monte. I went to NYU for a while. New York unemployment. Little joke there.
There you go.
But when I was 13, we went to Vegas. We were going to move to Vegas. So we went out there for a trip to see if my father would have liked it. This is back in the early 70s when Vegas, again, was in its heyday. And I fell in love with the town. Fell in love with the gaming industry right then and there. And then we went to a little store in a restaurant called the Leaning Tower of Pisa, right next to the dunes.
Okay.
And that's where I bought my first book called Three-Card Monte by John Scarney. I already knew the game, but that game showed me all the different variations. So I went home fully armed now with a town that I can't wait to move to. And now I found out there's books about this information. Wanted to read more, wanted to educate myself more. Dropped out of high school when I was 17, went to the Marine Corps.
Okay.
Received my GED in the Marine Corps, and then came out. I worked in construction for a little bit until I turned 21. And then when I turned 21, I moved to Atlantic City and enrolled in a blackjack dealing school.
When you were working in the casinos as a dealer and your other capacities, did you notice you had a particular talent for spotting cheaters or knowing that something was wrong with the games that you were watching or even dealing at?
I did not. Like I said, right then when I turned 21, I was in blackjack school. I was dealing at the Atlantis.
Okay.
The old Playboy in Atlantic City.
I remember that.
Oh, yes. It was a great casino. I think it was one of the classiest casinos. 3 levels on the boardwalk.
It was, yeah.
So then I was getting a little involved with game protection. There was a gentleman named Steve Kershak there. And he was a gentleman, he knew he was a partner with Sal Sanchez. Mm-hmm. And they had me do a couple of game protection seminars, just doing basic false shuffles for casinos, showing them what false shuffles look like. The same type of sleight of hand that a magician would use. Nothing hardcore yet. I really didn't get my real education until after Atlantic City. I started dealing in Pikesville, Maryland.
Wow.
In charity joints.
Huh.
Mm-hmm. And that's when I started meeting scufflers. I started picking up more. And that's what I really learned about the difference between magic sleight of hand and cheating sleight of hand. And then my passion just really boomed. And then I heard about a gentleman in Vegas named Steve Forty, who is the god of gambling. And I had to meet him. And meeting him was a story in itself, because at this time right now, I was a doorman in New York City. I heard that this Steve was doing a lecture at the MGM. My buddy Sal Sanchez said, "Sal, I have tickets to see Steve Forty this Wednesday or this Thursday at the MGM in Vegas. Do you want to go?" Well, it's like Saturday. My job is not going to give me the time off. I'm working night shift. Wednesday rolls around. I'm saying to myself, this is an opportunity of a lifetime. I can't miss this. Call the travel agency. I said, I want to go to Vegas tomorrow morning as early as possible. She says, without the 2-week notice, you're going to pay a lot of money for this ticket. I said, I don't care. And then she says, when do you want to return? I said, I want to return tomorrow. And she thought I was joking, but I paid for the ticket. I got off work. I had a friend relieve me. I went to JFK, got on a plane in Vegas, flew all the way to Vegas, met Steve, saw the seminar, flew back home. I think I was an hour and a half late for work. And nobody believed me. I was in Vegas that day because they saw me that early morning. But meeting Steve was everything. He was the biggest influence in my gaming career.
I love the stories of how you learned your trade and how it evolved. And I grew up in New Jersey, and I've seen Atlantic City and the casinos and how they evolved and how they've changed from the outside. But in your opinion, how has the casino business changed from when you first started working in casinos, especially with regard to game protection?
Oh my God, it changed drastically. Well, let's face it, Atlantic City had the most stringent rules you can imagine.
Sure, yeah.
I mean, when you had a gaming school, you had to get the New Jersey Gaming Control Commission permission to move a table. I mean, that's a little overkill, but they were so strict. When you're opening up a can of worms here. When you were a dealer, you had to go to a New Jersey accredited school. And then when you graduate school, you auditioned as you were a dealer. You wore black and whites, black pants, white shirt, and you went to an audition for your instructor. If you passed the audition, then you got your dealing certificate. Then you go to the Jersey Gaming Control, you get your gaming license, and now your license will say, let's say, for instance, BJ dealer, blackjack dealer. Then you go to apply for a job. When you apply for a job, they make you tap in on a live game. One supervisor who's only watching 4 games watches you deal. And then he or she will say, okay, now you're good, you can deal. Now you must deal 800 hours before you're allowed to become a supervisor. After you deal 800 hours, meaning now you have enough hours in that game, now you could deal. Now you become a supervisor. Now you go back to the Gaming Commission, you pay another $50 for your upgrade. Now your license says BJ Supervisor. And that's all you're allowed to do, is to deal and supervise blackjack only. Now you want to learn craps. Now you got to go back to the school. Now you do a 3-month dealing course, and now you know craps. Then you go back to the license, and now you're a crap dealer. So now your license says blackjack supervisor, crap dealer. And that was with every game. You saw people with licenses that looked like badges of honors. One would say blackjack pit boss, crap box person, roulette dealer, and that are the only positions they were allowed. And when you were a supervisor, you only watched 4 games. Today, it is a joke. Today you apply for a job, they bring you into a room, they ask you to do a hula hoop, they ask you to bounce a beach ball or get on stage and tell jokes, and now human resource auditions you, and then you get the job. And then you're a dealer. And then when you become a supervisor, they deregularize. One person can watch 8 games, and some places more. So game protection has definitely taken a back seat.
Did they figure that, you know what, we have all these electronic devices, you know, the eye in the sky is always watching it. We don't need these stringent regulations for our dealers to begin with? Or why do you think it loosened up that much?
Okay. Well, let's talk about surveillance. I mean, I do a lot of work with surveillance, but if you talk about surveillance, the only requirement in most surveillance rooms is a pulse. Because it's a highly underpaid department. These people have to know everything. They have to know the payouts on all the games. They have to know the rules, the procedures in every department. And some of these people are getting paid minimum wage, some places more. Where's the incentive?
Sure.
And when you talk about surveillance, usually there's only 3 or 4 people in that room watching what? They're watching every table game, every slot machine, every department. When most scams get caught in the United States, it's usually another patron who turns them in.
Really? What I was wondering about the surveillance people, they seem, I can't believe they would have your amount of training involved. I mean, one person can look at something and not know really what they're seeing. And I went to your website, Universal Game Protection, and you have videos, and you know there were techniques you were showing that I had no earthly idea, and I can't even imagine if people in the surveillance field hired by a casino would even know what they're looking at.
A lot of them don't, but thank God that they have loosened up. Now, I'm not talking about every surveillance department, because I've been in some rooms where they were triple sharp. I mean, very, very sharp. And let's face it, in this business, math does not lie.
Yeah. If
these games aren't holding what they should, now surveillance, especially with today's technology, where everything is recorded 24/7 with digital cameras, which means they could zoom in after the fact. When I broke in, you had VHS. You had one shot. Today, they could zoom in from so many different angles. But they got to be aware that this game isn't holding what they should. Why? and have the knowledge to go back and look at something to evaluate a play properly.
You know, one of the most interesting things I read in your background is your mastery of memory techniques. How important are these techniques in the memory techniques that you have? How important are these techniques in your line of work, and how can they be used to catch cheaters in a casino?
Oh, it's monster. Because let's face it, now you're talking about another whole topic. What started me off with memory is a scam. I saw a scam that happened at the MGM where the player, I'm sorry, it was Atlantic City. I had to take, it was Atlantic City, the old Harris, not even there anymore.
Oh, yeah.
But the player was writing the cards down on the table, actually writing them down. And then the dealer did a false shuffle, and they had all the information recorded on paper. So I said to myself, wow, if that player was able to memorize the cards, the evidence would be a lot less, and a lot less chance of getting caught. But is it possible to memorize this many cards? And then I started doing research on memory. And then that just opened up a whole new world to me. And then I'm saying, my God, how come we're not taught this in school? Besides doing game protection consultancy, we also do a lot of seminars in schools and universities on memorization for students, as well as hotel chains on memory for customer service. So memory can help anybody. But as far as catching cheats, when you're in a surveillance room and you have a mastery of memory, you can memorize running counts, true counts, buy-ins, table numbers, patients' names, numbers, badge numbers, all at a glance. I could look at 6 decks and memorize them pretty much instantly.
Yeah, I was going to ask you that. I read something about that you can memorize a deck of cards in seconds. I mean, that's got to be a tremendous help for you in your field.
It is, and it's only practice. Memory is a learned skill. There's only 2 types of memory, trained and untrained. And it's a learned skill. I could teach anyone to do it. Now, will anybody become as fast as me? Depends how much practice they want to put in. I met some children, I'm talking about a 5-year-old girl from India that could run circles around me. And I just met her at a memory competition and a math competition in Vegas. So it depends how much time you want to put into it. But is it possible? Absolutely. I'm saying memory also helps advantage players. For example, sequential tracking or shuffle tracking, where you have to memorize either multiple running counts or you got to memorize sequences of cards. So when the dealer shuffles them, sequences rarely get disturbed. So those are 2 forms of advantage play where memory is a huge aid.
You know, I want to ask you, I've asked a lot of people in the casino field, and I've gotten different answers. In your opinion, is card counting cheating?
Absolutely not. Card counting is not cheating.
Good answer.
Providing you're not using any devices.
Okay.
I mean, some places have device laws where you can't put on a Casey or a David or a hidden body computer. Mm-hmm. But so if you were talking about bringing a device in, a hidden body computer, then it can be illegal. But as far as just using your brain, absolutely not.
In my opinion, I don't think it's cheating at all. And I almost respect, I don't want to say admire, but I respect their ability to develop that talent. I mean, it's just, I know casinos don't admire them, but do you respect some of these guys who have developed some of these techniques to use at the casinos?
Oh, you have to. Yeah. Oh, I respect the technique of the cheaters who go home and put this much skill into some of these moves. So, oh yes, when someone puts a lot of time into something, mm-hmm. and their ability is that incredible, oh yeah, I respect that for sure. But as far as card counting is a very simple thing to do. When people hear about card counting and think of MIT, you don't need to be a college graduate to count cards. To be a good card counter, you got to graduate 3rd grade, because all you're doing is adding and subtracting by 1 and dividing by no more than 6. The real art to card counting is to never get caught. Then you're good. When people tell me they've been backed out of 9 or 10 places, that's not telling me they're good. They're telling me they're getting caught. When someone tells me they're a card counter and they've been counting for years and never got caught, then I say, that guy's a professional.
We'll be right back with more Turnpike Sports. You've been hearing me talk about MyPillow and the benefits of using it to get a good night's sleep, alleviate your sore neck and back, and the special deal you can get from MyPillow through the show. Well, not only can you pick up the special deal for 4 MyPillows when you use promo code CARDS, but now you can get $100 off your purchase of the MyPillow mattress. Yeah, that's right, the MyPillow mattress. The MyPillow mattress comes with a 10-year warranty and a 120-day money-back guarantee. The MyPillow mattress is made up of 3 unique layers, providing you the comfort and support to fall asleep and stay asleep all night. It even has the luxurious Dream Soft cover, which is stain-resistant and stays cool all night. Just head on over to MyPillow.com, click on the MyPillow mattress link, and enter promo code CARDS at checkout to get $100 off your order. Or call 1-800-319-7913 to order by phone. That's MyPillow.com or call 1-800-319-7913 and use promo code CARDS. Better sleep starts with MyPillow. Welcome back to Turnpike Sports. For those of you just joining us, I am talking with Sal Piacente, founder and president of Universal Game Protection Development. And remember to check out his website at universalgameprotection.com. Now, not only do you give presentations at some of the biggest casinos, trade shows, and conferences around the world, but as I said before in the intro, you got into TV. How did you catch the eye of some of the television producers?
3-card Monte.
There you go.
Well, really, it's the truth. Well, if we talk about a really major, important part of my life also happened in Atlantic City. I did a presentation at a dealing school, and there was a girl there who caught my eye and I fell in love with. Now, on my looks, you don't get a girl by looks. So I had to make a bet with her, and I made a bet with her, and I said, if I win, I get to take you to dinner. And of course, it was rigged. I had to win, and we went for dinner. And later on, I married her, and now she's my wife.
That's a great story.
So now, me and my wife, it's the God's honest truth that happened at professional dealing school in Pleasantville.
Okay.
So my wife and my partner, my best friend, was sitting here, and someone told us about a 3-card Monte shoot they're looking for in Atlanta, in New York City. But the actor had to be a local. So I said, that leaves me out because I live in Florence, Kentucky. So my wife says to me, no, you should still apply for it. You should still go do it. Tell them that there'll be no travel expenses. We'll take care of it. So I did. We went out there and we did a show, and I did a little segment on 3-card Monte. And one of the people that were producing the show fell in love with the look, the attitude, and they built a whole show called Game On America, featuring Sal, the Hitman Piacente. And I was the host of the show. We did 13 episodes. We traveled all over the country. And the whole show was about beating carnival games, bar bets, street hustles, and how not to get taken.
I actually saw an episode where I think you were in San Francisco and you were talking about pinball, and you opened my eyes about pinball because you made me think about the game in a way I've never thought about it before.
Truthfully, when I couldn't beat a game, we brought experts in. Mm-hmm. And when I mess up, like, for example, shooting pool, oh, God, I'm not a really good pool player. I can't even really hold a cue. But when we brought in, Jet Li, and she was incredible. I couldn't believe they were winning balls.
Oh, absolutely.
And then we were playing dominoes, and we went out to play dominoes. I'm not a domino player. We met Jerome. He is a world-class domino player. By the time I picked up 2 dominoes, he knew exactly what I had in my hand. Floored me. So whenever I wasn't that great at the game, we brought in pros who would teach me and help give the viewers pointers. And that's how the show operated. So if I couldn't beat the game, we brought in the best.
It was a great show. Do you have plans to do more television in the future?
If the opportunity pops up, I would love to do more television.
Awesome. I want to get back to the actual cheating stories themselves. I thought it was interesting in one interview I read that you said there are two types of cheaters, amateurs and professionals. In your opinion, what are the difference between the two?
Sure. Well, skill level, of course, but they say amateurs cheat because they need the money. Professionals cheat because they want the money. When a person gets desperate, they're going to make more moves that a professional would never think of. A professional would wait. They would bite their time and wait for the right time to make a move. Plus, they'll go home and put thousands of hours into one move. If it doesn't work, they scrub it and go on to something else.
Being a gaming attorney and also doing the show, I get to talk to a lot of casino executives. And one of their things about catching cheaters is cheaters play too long. That's how they get caught. You know, these games are always slanted toward the house. So if there's long, consistent winning, all sorts of red flags go up. Do you find that's the case?
Definitely. Two things that the casinos have going in their favor: greed and stupidity. Well, if a person did a scam once, just once, and swore they never do it again, the chances are slim to none of getting caught. However, the limits are low. This isn't Macau where you could bet $3 million a hand. You know, max bet in most places is $5,000. So you do a scam once, you make your $5,000. What are you going to do with $5,000? Yeah, split it with a partner. So then they're going to do it again, and they're going to do it again, and then they're going to do it again. Then sooner or later they get caught. Greed is definitely the cheater's downfall.
In your opinion, what is the game that cheaters like to play the most?
Well, that's a great question because people always ask me, Sal, what's the best game to cheat? And truthfully, the best game to cheat is the one with the least supervision. Mm-hmm. However, there are more moves of cheating at blackjack than all the other games combined.
Really? You know, you bring up blackjack. You know, I remember that scene in the movie Casino where one guy was at a blackjack table and his partner was at the other blackjack table, and he had a wire against his leg, and he was sending signals to his partner. Nowadays, what are some?
Yeah, we call it a thumper.
Oh, we're a thumper.
It's called a thumper. Okay. Yeah, it's just a little telegraph machine. You would do Morse code. I press down my toe, I press down on a button, and it vibrates. So, on your side, you can do signals that way.
So what are the common methods today that cheaters use?
Wow. The most common method today? Dob. Dob is still big. Card marking is still big. One of the most sophisticated, I'm not going to say common, but one of the most sophisticated cheating scams that has ever surfaced is called the cutter scam. They have no idea how much money was stolen with this scam. They're estimating hundreds of millions. Nobody knows. It started in Macau, and when the dealer in Baccarat offers the cut, he or she would push the 6 decks or 8 decks out to the player. The player will stand up and run the cut card, the yellow cut card, across the top of the cards as for luck. Well, you can't see what's happening from above, but the middle finger is spreading the cards underneath the cut card, and the camera up his sleeve is recording the order of every one of those cards. Can you imagine being able to bet $300,000 a hand and knowing the complete order of 6 decks or 8 decks?
That's unbelievable. You know,
it's called the cutter scam.
I've never heard of it. I mean, I'm assuming most people haven't heard of something like that.
It's pretty big in the industry.
Yeah. Wow.
But now so many procedures change. See, casinos are very reactive. They're hardly proactive. They wait until something happens, and then they say, we better change our procedures. So now what happens when the dealer offers the cut card, when he offers the cards to be cut, he can't turn the cards to the edges.
Okay.
He has to offer them straight, so the player can't run the cards over the cut card over the cards.
I've always wondered about something, and I think you're the best person to ask. Are cheaters now taking advantage of the technology of their cell phones? I mean, with a cell phone, you have the ability to film someone, take pictures, text, whatever message you want to get out to someone. Has that been a big tool for cheaters?
It has not. I mean, honestly, there has been one scam that happened very recently where the cards were pre-shuffled. The dealer spread the cards face up, and the player just took a snapshot with his cell phone, and then that was just done. There's been another scam up in New England, where as they did the cutter scam with the cell phone. That was done. So scams have been done with the cell phones, but it's not common. You know, they also had card counting apps, and the casino's like, oh my God. You know, I like when people have cell phones in front of them. It shows me what they have. If I see a person picking up a cell phone in their hand, then I know something's being done. It's the hidden devices I'm worried about.
Tell us about Universal Game Protection Development. I know you work with your wife, Dee. So what services do you provide?
Yes, she's my partner.
Great. What services do you provide for casinos and gaming establishments and whoever else is worried about game protection?
Well, I'm always front line. So a lot of people know who I am. Not too many people really seen Dee's face. She's been on a couple of TV shows, but her name isn't there. So no one really knows what she looks like, which is excellent because she is triple sharp. My wife in Reno used to catch cheating 2 pits away when supervisors next to him didn't know what was going on. So my wife's been around a lot. She's seen some of the best cheaters. She's met some of the best. She's seen their moves. So my wife is very, very knowledgeable. So from that skill set, she does all the secret shopping. So if a casino wants secret shopping done, she's the one that will go in. And she'll actually play the games, get close to the dealer, analyze procedures, evaluate the equipment, look at the customer service, look at the dealers, how they deal, see if anything is going on. So we do secret shopping. We also offer a dealer course. Now, of course, what do dealers need to see? What pertains to them? When you're a dealer, no one shows you anything. Believe me, you do a 6-week dealing course, and then you put on a game. But what we show dealers is how players cheat them and why it's important to follow certain procedures, such as walking the game, which is taking a step to the right or to the left, so your peripheral vision broadens. Why it's important to clear your hands, which means show your hands to the palm that you're not stealing anything. Why it's important for certain call-outs. The dealer must alert the supervisor if a person's betting so much or when it's time to shuffle. So the dealers get to see how players pinch bets, press bets, how to mark cards, how to switch cards, how to slide dice and switch dice. Nothing that they could use against the house, but shows them their importance to the company. And then you have supervisor training. They get to see how the dealers cheat. So they would get to see how the dealer could full shuffle the cards, how the dealer could overpay, how the dealer could switch cards with the players. So that's what we show the supervisors. And then we show surveillance, everything. So everybody gets their own training from their perspective. And then we also offer memory training for customer service.
Now, how often do you find that employees of the casino are part of the cheating problem? Is it, I don't want to say 50, 60%, but how often are the dealers are involved in the cheating process?
Most of the time.
Most of the time.
If you want a big money scam, usually it involves the dealer. Because the dealer's the one that can manipulate the cards, the dealer's the one that could turn the floor supervisor. The dealer could do so much.
I know you said that D is usually the one that goes undercover. Do you find that you yourself try and stay away from the undercover? Because let's be honest, you were on TV, your website shows you doing videos. Is it tougher for you to go undercover in a casino to pick out a cheating problem?
Oh, my wife says, and I don't do this on purpose, but my wife says you change your appearance more than a woman. Sometimes I have a mustache, sometimes I don't, sometimes I got hair, sometimes a shaved head. No matter where I go, no matter what look, somebody usually says, "Hey, that's Sal." So I got a very distinct look, whether it's my big nose or my Brooklyn accent. It's something that stands out. So no matter where I go, I'm usually identified shortly. So I don't do anything. Plus, I got to be honest, I don't like going into casinos too much. I don't like being around the smoke.
Mm-hmm. Sal, I got to tell you, we're running out of time, but I want to make sure you give out your website so people can get a hold of you or keep up to date on what you're doing.
Sure. My website is sal@universalgameprotection.com. I want to thank you for having me on your show. It was a great experience, and thank you so much.
Sal, you got to promise me one thing. You got to come back on because I have about 1 million more questions to ask you.
Oh, I look forward to it.
Oh, great.
And hope to meet you one day. Then you can see some moves in person.
I told my brother, you know what? This is the guy I want to walk through a casino with because he will see things that I just can't see. Oh,
just from knowledge, that's all. And real quick, if you go on YouTube and look up the cutters, you can see the whole scam demonstrated.
Oh, cool. I definitely will. Sal Piacente, Universal Game Protection, universalgameprotection.com. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me, and take care. And Happy New Year.
You too. And that'll do it for us. See you next time on the Turnpike.